What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review of Making the Cut, Season 1, Episode 5. So we are now in Shanghai or Tokyo. We in Japan, child. We in Japan. And this is going to be a streetwear challenge. You know, Japan, that's that whole that genre of streetwear, that they're well known for that. So that is what we are going to be doing this episode. So they have to do two looks. One is the showstopper. Boom. You know, the other one is going to be the wearable version of that. Now, I don't know if a lot of people did the wearable versions. I feel like a lot of people just made two looks. One was the showstopper look and one was the more wearable look. I didn't really see a lot of cohesion, as they say, for me at least, for me. Now, before I get too deep into this, shouts out to Amazon for the fact that I did go to Amazon Prime to go check on the prices of these garments, and I did find that they were like very, very reasonable. The white dress, Jiwon's white dress was up there, and it was $49.99. So a $50 dress, that's about what people would pay for. You're going to the average, you know, store, some more, some less, but that's a decent price for, you know, a dress. And they had the leggings from, I mean, not the leggings, but the trouser bottoms from the first challenge that Esther won, and the pants I think were like $50. Like, it was very reasonable. These were very reasonable prices. Now, I did not see the dress from last week. I don't know if it sold out or if it just wasn't uploaded yet. But again, so just so you guys know, the prices are very reasonable. Not like that $300, $400, $250, you know, outfits that they had up there from Project Runway. So thumbs up to that. All right. Lord have mercy, y'all. My phone. Okay, sorry. So anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. The other thing too is the winner will also get a collaboration with Puma. And so I was thinking immediately, oh, this is Jiwon's challenge. Because she's already had a partnership with Adidas. That is sort of what her aesthetic is like, streetwear, athletic wear, but with like a fashion blend to it, you know. Sort of like what you would think, like that Ivy Park stuff, you know, that last collection of Ivy Park that Beyonce did, you know. And so I was thinking this was gonna be Jiwon's challenge to win. The other thing that I want you guys, the moral of the story of this episode is listen to advice. The second moral of the story is come out of your comfort zone, okay? That's what we do in this episode. Listen to the advice, come out of your comfort zone. So immediately people started figuring out what they were going to do. And from the very beginning, Sabado was in his head. Sabado decided that he didn't make streetwear. That wasn't his aesthetic. He didn't know how to do it. And immediately he was in his head. I was worried about him from the beginning because I said, I don't know if he knows how to get out of his head. So he struggled. He actually ran into a friend of his on the street, and it was sort of an awkward meeting. Like, they recognized each other, they spoke, and I don't know if they kind of did, like, after the camera, they kind of went and had lunch together or something like that, but it was very awkward. He said it was a friend of his. He knew him from Paris. He said, wow, the odds of us running into each other. It was just weird. It was a kind of an awkward thing. But like I said, it might have just been he walked off for the purposes of the camera, and then later on they hooked up, you know, and whatever. So, and later on, Sabado said that China was coming to Japan was very emotional for him. It's where he started his design career, and so there were a lot of memories and some feelings and stuff there. So I'm wondering if maybe there's some things that that brought up some bad memories that he didn't really get into. I'm not sure. So Esther went to Esther, Megan, I think maybe Jiwon. I think Jiwon was with them. They went to like the Monster Cafe, where, you know, looked like sort of like a Japan version of Coyote Ugly, where, you know, they danced up on the stage, and it was real fun. And the one thing that they took away from the whole streetwear piece of it was that there's color. Well, y'all know excuse me, y'all know Esther don't use nothing but black. She feels like black is the only color that exists to her, which black technically ain't a color, but we're not going to go down that road. But doesn't exist to her. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say is that they are also able to create their own textile for this challenge. They could do a design. Y'all remember that challenge? That's always a challenge on Project Runway where they can design their own logo or design their own design, and then they produce it for them to make a garment out of. And so a lot of them did branding. Some did designs and stuff like that. So that's the other thing that they were able to do with that. But Esther was saying how she's going to stick to her aesthetic. She's going to stick to her black. That she sees all the color and she knows that's what a lot of streetwear, but she's going to stick to her black. Sabado found this beautiful fabric that he loved while he was out. I mean, he loved it. He fell in love with it and was ready to go back to the workroom. Now, Sabado made this black jersey dress, and he made this a dress out of that material. Tim immediately fell in love with that dress made out of this material. It was like it had black, white, gray stripe thing, but I don't know material well enough to be able to describe what type of material it was. But Tim loved it. Tim told Sabado, because Sabado, of course, was in his head, and he was saying how, I'm just not sure. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what direction to go in. And Tim told him, you got it. He said, that dress is a showstopper. It pulls you out of your comfort zone, but it still has enough of your aesthetic to it to keep you honest with who you are. He wasn't crazy about the black dress, though. He wasn't crazy about it. And of course, Sabado tried to talk Tim into it, and Tim said, I don't know. I just don't think this is your look. I don't think this is what you should do, okay? When he went over to Esther, he told Esther, I'm loving what you're doing here, but where's the color? Like, of all places that you could be, you're not infusing any color. What's going on here? Johnny's another one where this should have been right up his alley. Streetwear. This is what he does. And he was sort of struggling. I mean, a lot. And he kind of got behind on time. He gave the seamstresses pretty much one of his whole hoodies to make. And when they came back the next day, the hoodie wasn't right, honey. It wasn't done. It wasn't finished. And so as a result, he got forget her name. The one from Israel. He got her to help him. And Sander was sort of feeling some kind of way about that a little bit. Now, Sander's been very understanding and been very flexible, and he's been helping people out a lot, but he sort of was kind of looking sideways and said, you know, she got done early, and so she was able to help him, but I can't help but think that had she not been available to help him, his garment would not have been done. And so he was kind of feeling some kind of way about that. Everybody else, the textiles came in. Now, my suggestion to Sabado would have been redo an outfit using his textile when it came in. Keep that other dress that Tim loved so much and the dress that Tim didn't like so much. Make a new garment out of that with your textile. With, you know, it had his branding on it. That's not what he did. Esther, Tim was telling you, color, 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 color. Where's the color? We need some color. What's going on with the color? You didn't do it. I know Tim wants me to use color, but I just have to stick to my aesthetic. Renault, that's her name. Renault was struggling with her, she was making this coat, and she was struggling with the coat, and Tim was telling her he was giving her some suggestion, and she gonna ask Tim, well, what should I do? And Tim was like, I mean, you're the designer, but he led you to the water, boo. You just had to drink it yourself. But she figured it out. She did a good job, and she figured it out. So Jiwon's critique was about, she was doing a lot of separates, and he was suggesting that maybe she should mix some things up a little bit. In the end, she decided not to mix it up so much, but when it was coming down the runway, Tim said he understood. He said he saw it and he understood why she sort of did it the way she did it. Now, let's go on and get to the runway, you guys. You guys, I swear I keep turning my phone down and I'm not sure why it's still loud. I don't know why. I've been turning it down. Because that's just a group chat that keeps going all child. So, so when they get to the runway is they're at Tokyo Mall or something like that, Tokyo Plaza, I believe it is. And the runway is them coming down the escalator. It's this long escalator, and the models coming down the escalator. You know, it's real cute. And it was actually an outdoor, open to the public type event because there was a lot of people there. Now, Nicole and Nicole and I don't want to turn it off though, you guys. Nicole and the lady that is from French Vogue, neither one of them came to Japan, but they said Nicole will be back for the finale. But they did pick up a new judge. Her name is Chiara Fergarani. Again, they said that she is a huge influencer. She has 15 million followers. And so, of course, they all knew who she was. Unfortunately, I did not. But of course, they all knew who she was. Now, as we go through, Jiwon came down first. And I feel like Jiwon's design, I loved her design as far as streetwear. I think it was on brand and it was on point. And I liked both of her looks. I don't necessarily think that both of her looks were for the everyday person, but I did like both of her looks. It had a design, the design she used, it had a Korean print. Remember, she's Korean, so it had a Korean print on it. And it was fun, and it was light, it was cute, you know. And then the second look she had was, it was like a halter top with the cutout, and then the pants had like the suspenders connected to the pants. It was really cute. It's hard to describe, but it's really cute. And the judges liked it, and they really liked the Korean print to it. I think at first maybe they weren't sure whether she meant to do Korean or maybe she was going for Japanese and did Korean, but I think once they remembered that she was Korean, I think they were cool with it. Because at first it almost seemed like they were like, wait a minute. Esther's outfit came down. Now, they didn't say a whole lot about the outfit, but they loved the hat. She designed this hat that almost looked like it was dreads with two ponytails. Very cute, very innovative. Naomi Campbell said she would have bought it in a New York Minute. But what was their critique, y'all? Say it with me. Say it together. No color. That was the critique. And again, I didn't hear them saying a lot about the outfit per se. They didn't hate it. They didn't love it. But they really, really, really had a problem with the fact that there was just no color. And they were like, hello, Japanese streetwear. How do you not have color? Sanders' outfit was interesting and very complicated. Not sure how I felt about his look. The judges thought that his look was okay. But their thing was, the criticism for both of his looks was, how do we recreate this? How do we turn this into something we can easily sell? And that was the critique last week. So, Sander, you're going to have to figure out a way when they say something that they can throw up on the internet and sell a million versions of it. I mean, a million copies of the same thing. You've got to come up with something that is simple and that is easily reproducible. If not, no matter how talented you are, they can't use you for what it is they're trying to do. So that's the second time you've gotten that critique. They gave you that critique last week with your dress, saying that your dress was cute, but it was a little too complicated for them to reproduce. You're going to have to take that critique in, and you're going to have to scale it back and edit yourself down. Johnny, he pulled it out. He had like this hoodie with the clear sleeves, I mean, with like the sheer sleeves, and his print, which he hated. He didn't like his print, but he was able to find a way to use it. He liked it. Then he did a guy. He's the only person that did a guy this time. And he had like a leather kimono type thing with the pant. Really, really cute. Megan's look, I liked it. It didn't stand out. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't horrible. I liked it, but it was in the middle. And that's kind of where she landed, in the middle. It was a black and white skirt, like asymmetrical type design, and then she had an off the shoulder top with a little peekaboo. It was cute, but again, you know, her second look was you know, a little more punk. You know, she had the sort of like the parachute type pants, and she had the blousey top with like hoodie, and it was cute, but again, fell in the middle. Wasn't horrible, wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Sabado, his first dress comes down. It's got his branding on it, and it's just a hooded jersey dress. It's nothing spectacular. But Tim is pissed. Tim is pissed because he did the exact opposite of what Tim asked him to do. He scrapped the dress that Tim loved and kept the dress that Tim hated. And I'm thinking to myself, Sabado, if you were so lost and you had no idea what to do, you were so in your head, why wouldn't you take the critique and take the suggestion of the person who really can keep your fate in his hands? Because just as easily as Tim, and I won't say Tim threw you under the bus, but Tim let it be known that he didn't that he told you to do the opposite of what you did. Oh shoot. That you did the opposite of what he told you to do. But just as easily as he did that, he could have saved you. If the judges absolutely hated it, he could have said, well, that was my suggestion. He was following my critique, da 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 da. But okay, you ain't want to listen. Last but not least, or is it last? I hope it's last. I think we last. We had Renault. Her first look, I loved it. It was like what the heck? Why do I get all these people calling me now? It was a top that had like patches. It was like a patchwork, but it was real cute. It was denim. It wasn't like a denim top or a denim color top, and it has like the patchwork on it. And then the second look was this coat, which was so cute. And then as soon as it came down, the judges loved it. I mean, immediately. And I mean, from Naomi on down, they loved that coat. Okay. So we get to the end, we get to the critique, and of course Sabado now is in his head because he's like, maybe I should have listened to Tim. Yeah, you think? Yeah, you should have listened to Tim. I couldn't believe he did that. And I was like, Sabado, I was really rooting for you. I really, really liked you. But, you know, it's only 7 designers left, and we're at a point now where, you know, okay just ain't good enough anymore. So we get down to the critique, and I already kind of told you guys Sanders' critique. They called him down. They told him they liked his look, but his look just wasn't reproducible. Like there was nothing they could do with it. Like they can't let him. They couldn't give him the win because they can't put any of those looks up on the Amazon for people to buy. Then they called Renault and they called Johnny. Yeah, Renault and Johnny down. And the choice between the two of them as far as the winners are concerned, and it came down to Naomi Campbell to make the final decision. And Naomi gave Renault the nod and gave her the win, but she said, Johnny, you were a close second. And I would have given it, between the two of them, I would have given it to Renault too. Like I said, I like both looks, but I definitely like Renault's look better, and I definitely love that coat. That coat was cute. I might have to go check the price on that coat, because that coat was cute. Okay. Then they called Esther down. Now, I'm going to say this to Miss Esther. Esther, I think the only thing that saved you from not being cut this particular time was the fact that you had won 2, that you've won 2 already. They know what you can do, and you were close. You were close to a 3rd win, and they know what you can do. But they told you you are going to have to come out of that comfort zone. You're going to have to step away from your vision a little bit. And the guy judge told her, he said, sometimes in this game, you have to make a decision, and you have to decide between stepping away from your vision and decide whether it's worth it or not. He said, sometimes it's going to be worth it. Sometimes maybe not. He said, but you're going to have to do that because you can't use black for everything. You just can't. You cannot. It's not possible for you to use black for every damn thing all the time. Who's buying that? And her thing was, and this what she said that kind of pissed me off, and I feel like it rubbed the judges a little bit of the wrong way. She said, I mean, I don't have a problem using color. I just don't want to be forced to do it. Okay. Sabado was called down, and of course they gave all the criticism, and that's when Tim let it be known that, hey, I told him to do the exact opposite of what he did, and he did not make the cut. Now, I'm going to say this. I think that even if Sabado had done everything that Tim asked him to do, I'm wondering if he still wouldn't have made the cut, because even those two dresses, that if he had kept the other dress, it was street, but I still don't know if it was better than anybody else's. And like I said, I don't think they would have cut Esther. Only because, like I said, Esther had won 2 challenges already and close to it. Like, they know what Esther can do. Like, they're not going to, it would take a lot. She would have to be in the bottom a couple of times for them to get to the point where they're ready to cut her. Or it just would have to be such an astronomical fail for them to cut her. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that was episode 5. You guys let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.